Here's a look at Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Chicago Bears. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Play action. Now Wilson. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. This defense for the Bears, they were very good a week ago in that win over Minnesota.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
And he's going to get this inside the 30.
Nice methodical opening drive here. They're already into field goal range. They're in a good spot. You know that people like to take a shot in this part of the field. But at the same time, as methodical as they've been, they might want to run the ball a little bit here too.
And just on the outskirts of the red zone, they have options now. Either way, though, they've come out with a purpose. They'll run on first down. It's Carson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Flush to his right. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. Now it's Carson. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Wilson. Being chased out left. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. Here's Carson. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead because now the defense can't dictate with pressure.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Nick Ballore, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
So the assignment, a tough one here for this defense. You've got a quarterback ranked in the top 5 in passing yards. What do they need to do to try to keep him under wraps?
Well, they didn't sleep a whole lot getting ready for this one. I can guarantee you there's just so much to combat. But I think they're going to zero in on taking away his top target. Double, triple him if they have to. Make the other guys rise up and try and beat them. They'll feel a whole lot better if those guys win in the routes instead of their number 1 guy.
And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
Out routes are always timing routes. And if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down. Montgomery back to the ground. A 1st down and then some for Montgomery. And he'll finally be taken down at the 18. You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you could hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley.
Now Fields. That's complete right side to Kmet. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Fields. A throw left side taken in by Kmet. And he's able to pick up the 1st before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. They'll run with Montgomery. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. David Montgomery. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. Extra point by McCann, up and good. And that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Esker's going to keep this one in the end zone, and they'll start at the 25-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offensive sails, because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
These two teams all tied after one. On first down, Carson. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Now it's Wilson. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep...
Now a diving effort right sideline. He's got it. A big play that time through the air. 30 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And the Bears are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And some room to roam now. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Chicago. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs, and that one certainly fell into the latter category. That deserves a couple exclamation points.
And that's why he's one of the best running backs in the game today, because this run combined all the elements. Started with patience, and he was just waiting for the right lane to materialize. Then once he saw it, he used his speed and escapability in tandem and turned this into a tremendous play.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. McCann's got it teed up. Eskridge going to keep this one in the end zone, and they'll start at the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible.
Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. They run it with Carson. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And that's going to be caught, Dwayne Eskridge. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago, because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. This is Carson. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Chris Carson with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. Myers connects on the PAT. And we are tied here in the 2nd quarter. this one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. A great move by Montgomery. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 133 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. David Montgomery on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Bears have broken the tie. Extra point by McCann, up and good. And the lead is now 21-14. McCann's got it teed up. Dwayne Eskridge elects to bring it out. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And he's got a first down following a pickup of about 13 as we will take a pause here for the 2-minute warning. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy. You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over it, and they got there to break that one up.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Wilson. Left side complete to Lockett. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And we'll see what they want to do. 45 seconds is all that remains until the break. Now a first down throw, Fields. This one swung out to Montgomery. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. And he's got the speedster Goodwin. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Play action. It's Fields. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just get rid of it. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Meanwhile, Fields' throw there complete to Mooney. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Off play action, Fields. And he'll find Hall. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. 7 yards, the pickup there.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Second down and 3. To the air again, Fields. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Darrell Taylor in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. McCann's kick up and good. And the lead works its way up to 10, 24-14. So we reach halftime with the visiting Bears out on top here. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
They'll run on first down. It's Montgomery finding some room at midfield. And finally brought down at the 38. 162 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. On the ground, it's Montgomery. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. So third down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Now a give running right is Montgomery. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a gain of 5, and now the question, will the offense stay out there on 4th and 1? Montgomery, they'll run for it. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. The type of game that he's having running the football, there was no doubt who they were giving the ball to.
So why didn't they just go ahead and go after him on defense, right?
Yeah,
if you know,
on him.
right, you know he's having that type of a game. Who else would you expect to get the football? I would have taken my chances and sold out defensively to stop him. And if anyone else picks it up, I tip my cap to him.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On second down, Montgomery. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. David Montgomery with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Bears take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point by McCann, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. McCann's got it teed up. Eskridge going to keep this one in the end zone, and they'll start at the 25-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
The delay of game backs them up 5, 1st and 15. They go play action now. Wilson. He's got his man. That's Everett, the tight end. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Trying to lay one up deep. And it's intercepted. Picked off at the 20. And a great return as he takes us up just shy of the 45. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Well, we sit in quarter number 3 out in Seattle. A 2nd and 10 now. Here's Fields. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Montgomery. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
58, boys, 58, 58, Mike. Watch the out.
To throw is Wilson. Buying time to his left. Out left, he's got it to Everett. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A big connection on that one. 33 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. So now second and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Wilson will throw again. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. Third down here and 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
On third down, Wilson. A pass underneath for Carson. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a fourth down. So Wilson heads to the sideline, and on comes Jason Myers for the Seahawk field goal. Myers' kick is good, and that will close the gap down to 14. So the response to that touchdown on the other side to begin the third quarter. Look, just 3 points, but still a response nonetheless.
You're exactly right about that, because I think you needed to answer back with something, even though it's not 6. Just enough to send a message that says, hey, we're not going away.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Yeah, still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Back to Montgomery on second down. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. Third down and 9. Now it's Fields. Throw left side complete. That's Hall. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Chicago.
On first down, Montgomery. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11. A play fake, now Fields to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And intercepted, maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks are right back in this football game. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice, because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it was a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And he's brought down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They run again with Carson. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 29, Wilson. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
But plain and simple, that's the second time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
Here's Wilson. Oh, and a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Josh Jones. And the Bears will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. And that's now a half dozen interceptions for him over the last 2 games. Because CD, remember, he threw 3 in the last ball game and now 3 more here.
And the way that you present it, partner, I'm not sure what sounds worse, right? Half a dozen over the last 2 games or 3 the last game, 3 this game. Either way, it's way too many. And that's something they'll have to work on, hoping to get through the rest of this game without having to address it again.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Man, 206 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. That's complete to Mooney. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. On play action, Fields. He'll leave it for Montgomery, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. On 2nd down, it's Montgomery. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So the Bears with a football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And this is off the left upright. And it comes back. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
He lets it fly for Lockett. And this is caught down for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a 1st down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
So they come up on 2nd down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. That one looks like he'll throw here. Swings this out here for Cohen. They find some open field here. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A big play that time on the catch and run.
He was not the primary target. They expected to get the ball downfield. Instead, checked it down. An old coach of mine used to say to us all the time, when they check it down, that should end the down. In this case, though, he foiled that in a big way and turned it into a big play.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the 1st. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. McCann's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So barring something extraordinary here in the closing stages, that field goal should just about put this one on ice.
Yeah, we've got to find 2 scores. So, we're not going to exactly move it over there yet. It can be done, but, boy, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they would have to move incredibly quick and have some luck, too. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock.
And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Khalil Mack in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. Charles, we saw a lot of points.